I'm Liz Gillespie, and welcome back to another episode of BNEWS Sports Hub. This month, we headed down to Varsity Field where we caught up with the BHS Girls Varsity Cross Country team. We'll have a conversation with head coach Christina DiCroce and captains Alli, Illidge, Colleen, McMakin, and Alli, Irwin. We also have our Red Devil review with Robert Paris and a couple of player spotlights. And that's all right here, right now, on this month's BNEWS Sports Hub. To jumpstart our discussion, we'll offer you a little refresher of the team. We go now to BNEWS sports reporter Robert Paris for our Red Devil review.
Hey everyone, I'm BNEWS sports reporter Robert Paris for your Red Devil review. It has been 7 months since I last made an appearance on the show, and a lot has changed in the world due to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. Burlington High School athletics have given a number of teams an opportunity to play this fall, and one of those teams is Lady Devils Cross Country. In 2014, Chuck Wood retired from his position as the girls cross country head coach. He was then succeeded by Christina DiCroce. At the time, DiCroce was in the Burlington system for 2 years as a Spanish teacher at BHS. Head coach Wood encouraged DiCroce to take over the team because he knew she was an avid runner herself, and she was happy to take the position. She loves working with student athletes both on and off the field. In 2019, the team went 1-5 overall and lost to the Winchester Sachems, Melrose Red Raiders, Stoneham Spartans, Wakefield Warriors, and the Wilmington Wildcats. However, there was a silver lining in the end. They won against the Watertown Red Raiders in the last meet of the season. Although the 2020 season has been modified and shortened, DiCroce said that the Lady Devils are continuing to motivate and encourage each other and work together as a strong unit moving forward. While the team had a losing standing between 2017 and through 2019, there was an impressive achievement of note. Colleen McMakin, a sophomore at the time, made the All-Star list for the Freedom Division. In 2019, McMakin made the All-Star list once again, as well as sophomore Casey Collins. Look for the player spotlight where we caught up with McMakin later in the show. Everyone, that is all for your Red Devil review. I'm Robert Paris. Back to you, Liz.
And let's get down to cross country. I'm now here with Christina DiCroce. How are you doing?
Hi, Liz. I'm doing well. How are you?
Awesome. So first things first, what got you involved in cross country?
When the previous cross country coach retired, he had noticed me running a lot and knew that I was into running and asked me if I wanted to take over actually when he left. Knowing he was going to be retired the following fall season, he asked if I was interested and I said yes.
Awesome. Were you involved specifically in cross country before that or just like?
Nope. I had coached middle school girls basketball for 3 years prior to coming to Burlington. So I loved coaching, big runner myself. So
Awesome.
Put it together, yeah.
So how often do you run?
Personally, not as much now that I have a 5-month-old baby at home, but 2 to 4 times a week. Yeah.
Awesome. So what does coaching running look like? Like, how does that work?
Well, it depends. If we have brand new runners, we really work on form and mechanics of running before they just go off on the road. If they are returning runners, that's like abbreviated at the beginning of the season, and then we work on drills, mechanics. They go off on a run. There's a warm-up before the run, then a cool down at the end.
Is there a lot of like pacing involved?
Yeah, they work with each other to pace each other and motivate one another, and that's been going really well this season.
Awesome. Under normal circumstances, do people like have running buddies? Is that what they do?
We still do that. We are allowed
cool.
to have running pods of up to 10 girls.
Oh, wow.
There are 12 girls on the team this year, so the whole team is kind of like a running pod. But no, we have a group of 5, group of 4, group of 3 right now.
Did a lot of people quit from last year, or did you have a lot of seniors from last year?
We had no seniors last year, actually.
Oh, wow.
But we did have a few girls not return because of the situation. It's just very different. And we had 3 new runners join.
Oh, awesome.
So, yeah.
So is it like safe since you're outside?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes and no. I mean, we still have to observe social distancing. If girls are within 6 feet of one another, they have to be wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Only when they're off running, they be distanced without a mask on.
Okay.
But typically, and they've been very good about it. I ran the first day with them and with a mask on and realized, oh, this isn't the best, but it's not horrible.
Yeah.
And if it's what we have to do to stay safe, they're doing it.
Awesome. So what are some of your practices like?
Kind of what I explained earlier. We do a warm-up run all together as a team around the school's about half mile. Then they do drills, agilities to work on form, and then it depends what workout a athlete gets based on where she is in her training.
Awesome.
Yeah.
About how long do you guys run for?
Again, depends on ability, depends on the athlete, between 2 to 8 miles.
Oh, wow.
Practices are about 2 hours, an hour and a half to 2 hours every day.
Wow.
Well, not every day. With COVID this year, we only are allowed 3 practices together per week.
So is that just like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or like?
It varies. It'll vary.
Okay.
But yeah, right now, like this week's been Monday. This week we could practice 4 times because we didn't have a competition. It's 3 practices plus 1 competition per week. This week we're not competing, so we've had 4. Tuesday was our day off.
Cool. Yeah. Is it like what Mr. Hart said, where you have like meets on Saturdays?
Exactly. We'll have 5 Saturday meets.
Oh.
Starting next week.
So how long does the season run for?
It'll go, our last meet is November 14th.
Oh, so you only have like
or 11th.
1 or 2 meets a month?
Yeah, well, 1 per week, starting on October 10th. And we're off Halloween. I don't know the exact
that's fine.
date of the last meet, but we're off the Halloween. I think there's 2 more weeks after that. Yeah.
So what are your meets like?
We show up about an hour to an hour and a half before the meet. Warm up is about a mile altogether. Then again, we do our agilities, stretching, talk about race strategy, talk about how we're feeling, because it's always good to get the nerves out.
Yeah.
Through talking, that sometimes helps. We do some strides, and then we race. After the race, there's about a half-mile cool-down run that the girls do together as well. Yeah.
How is every meet like the same distance?
It varies from town to town. Our home course is 3.1 miles. It's a 5K.
Yeah.
But if we go to, for example, Watertown, I think their course is 2.6 miles. It's a little bit shorter. Yeah.
So how do you guys score?
It's lowest score wins. It's kind of like golf, where if you're first in the race, you earn your team 1 point.
Oh, cool.
Second place, 2. So a perfect score would be 15, right? You have the whole first 5 runners are on your team. So it's like 7, the top 7 from each team contribute to scoring.
Awesome.
But only the 5 can be added up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Does time have anything to do with that, or?
Yes and no. I mean, the better time is the better place.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, I guess.
So this year with COVID, do you have to space out when you're starting?
Correct. We'll have 2 waves, a varsity wave and a JV wave.
Okay.
The team is all varsity technically, but we'll have our first 5 runners, or our first 7 runners go in the first wave, and then everyone else will go behind them about 3 minutes in between those waves. Yeah.
So this year, is all of the teams still competing that you would normally race against?
As far as we know.
Oh,
yes.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
So do you guys have tryouts or anything for them? Or do you just accept everyone?
We accept everyone, and the girls weed themselves out. I'll say that. In the first week or 2 of practice, girls realize if they're into it or not. It's not for everyone.
Yeah.
So those that want to stick with it. Those that don't,
Is it typically
we say thank you for trying. No, not always freshmen, no.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. So how popular is cross country in comparison to track and field?
Track and field is a very big team.
Yes.
There's lots of different events that girls can be involved in. Are you on the track team?
I'm not, no.
You're not?
I considered winter track at one point,
Yeah.
but I never went through with it.
Okay. No, the track team, I don't know how many girls they have had on their team historically, but we've had between 10 and 15 girls on the cross country team since I took over.
Do you also coach track?
I don't.
Ah.
I've officiated a couple meets. I've been an official measuring distances for the long jumps
Okay.
and triple jumps. But no, I don't coach track.
Do you prefer to run long distance than short distance?
I do personally.
Awesome.
Yes.
I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
So what's like weather limitations?
There aren't really any unless there's thunder and lightning.
So you still run in the rain?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there any safety precautions you have to take with that, or is it just kind of the same?
You know, we run at our own risk, but there are a couple courses in the league that are less safe than others, where you're running through the woods. You can get muddy and slippery, and we've had conversations about changing that rule, but so far, like if it's raining, you still run.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes it more adventurous. I think.
Oh yeah,
I think
definitely.
the athletes like it.
So here in Burlington, where do you guys run?
Our course starts on the practice football field. It goes around the school, up Sunset.
Yep.
Down Arlington, up Anna, down Cambridge, across the driveway, across the baseball field.
Wow.
Then back around the school and ends on the track.
Do you guys just like run on the sidewalks of the streets?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. If there's no sidewalk, just off to the side. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So, what's like for away meets? What's like your transportation plan?
This year, the school is not providing transportation. Girls have to be transported there on their own, parent driving or themselves.
You have no bus or anything like that?
No buses. That is a safety concern with COVID.
Can girls like drive other girls, like freshmen? Can like a senior drive a freshman with them?
Yes, we're telling them to have the windows down and wear their masks the entire ride.
Smart. So, if like, do you guys have any other training things that you have to do like inside in like the fitness center or anything like that?
We used to in the past. We would do a few workouts a month in there. I mean, weightlifting isn't a big part of our regimen. Yeah. But body weight training. If it was a cold, rainy day outside, we'd be able to go in the weight room and just do body weight activities or use the cardio machines. Yeah. But not this year, as far as I know.
That's sad.
Yeah.
So is like working out stuff like that, like cardio, or not just the straight running, is other stuff like that as important?
Cross training, yes, is important. Again, for us, I mostly have the girls run, but on their days off, I ask them to be doing something active as like biking or swimming or walking even.
Awesome. Yeah.
Just to keep moving.
Do you recommend cross country as like a good thing for people who want to do other sports?
Yes.
To build up
definitely
strength.
Endurance, strength, mental strength. Like it is such a mental sport. 5K is long for someone that's never done it before. Yeah. And to mentally keep yourself motivated to keep going, that helps in all areas of life, not just other sports. Classes, school, difficulties in life. You learn a lot about yourself when you're running out there on your own.
I like to think I'm endurant, but I've run 5Ks in the past and I've struggled. So,
but you do it.
Yeah, I've done it I haven't done it anytime recently, but I should probably get back into running.
I
started running.
Yes.
Did you get out a lot during the original quarantine?
I was 9 months pregnant.
So that's right.
I didn't run. I walked a lot. I walked as much as I could. And then it's taken me a while to get back into it. But yeah, I definitely messaged my team and said, be outside, be running. This is the perfect time for you to be.
Especially when the weather got nice. That was perfect. So what's like the weirdest thing about this season?
Just seeing everyone with masks on all the time. Just monitoring that and feeling like everyone without a mask on the track is a threat. The masks. Yeah. And the schedule and the later start to the season. We lost 3 weeks of the season.
Oh, yeah. So. Did the season get like pushed 3 weeks too? So it's now ending later as well?
It's ending at the same time actually, but just kind of abbreviated.
Oh, yeah. I guess now that there's a fall too, you got to squish everything together. Is there any particular like gear that you need to have for cross country, or is it just kind of like...
Sneakers that fit me well.
Yeah, of
Sneakers
course.
that don't have too many miles on them.
Do you guys have like a senior meet or anything, or like a fundraiser meet or anything like that?
No fundraiser meet, but we are planning our senior day to be after our first meet against Wilmington on October 10th.
So your second meet?
It'll be our first.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we don't.
That's kind of cool.
We don't compete next week like the rest of the sports. Our first competition is October 10th, so that's our first home meet. our next home meet is at the end of the season, and we're just not sure if we're going to get that far
Oh,
with
yeah.
the virus.
That's smart then.
So we'll do something that day for our seniors. Yeah.
What do you typically do for a senior night?
The juniors are the ones that kind of plan gifts for them, special food, like a cake or something. But I'm not sure. We'll have to see about the rules for eating at the track this year with COVID. In the past, it's been no problem.
Yeah.
So
Do you
to be
usually
determined.
eat before or after a meet?
After. I mean,
I
girls
was
should
about
have
to say,
snacks
you shouldn't
before
do all
and
that
after.
before.
Right, after, for sure. It'll be like a little
Don't know a
brunch.
ton about running, but I know you don't do that.
Nope, you don't want to run on a full stomach.
That's bad. Is there anything else that I didn't ask you about that you want to talk about, or?
I don't think so, but thank you so much for having me.
Thank
so much for
This
highlighting
is
our
great.
team.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. And we'll be right back with Captain Alli Illidge.
Hi everyone, Dr. Wayne Saltzman, geriatrician, elected member of the Burlington Board of Health. The flu is still out there. It is still, as of March 6, 2020, high risk. Please, if you haven't done so, get the flu shot. It's effective and it covers all the strains of flu out there now. Wash your hands, protect your cough and your sneeze, get your flu shot. Thanks everyone.
And now we're back with the Captain Alli Illidge. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So, how long have you been a runner?
My mom tried to get me into running before high school, but I wasn't really into it. I didn't really start running until my freshman year when I joined the cross country team.
Cool. What made you start the team then?
A friend of mine, she wanted to do it together. Unfortunately, she couldn't stay on the team, but I did stay on the team.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So, do you do any other sports?
For Burlington High School in the spring, I'm part of the girls track and field team.
Awesome.
And then in the winter, I don't do any sports for Burlington, but I do snowboard and ski in the winter.
Oh, that's fun. I wish I did that. So, what's been your favorite part of being on the cross country team?
I love our small team. I get to know all the girls personally, and we all know each other. It's really fun.
Awesome. So, how has COVID changed the season for you?
There's been a decent number of changes. Now, the biggest one is running with a mask now. But some of the smaller changes that people may not take into consideration that I took really hard was not having pasta parties or the inability to have them.
Oh yeah, you don't really think about that. Does like running with a mask like change anything about running, or is it just kind of weird to do?
Personally, for me, it makes it harder to breathe. But if we're more than 6 feet apart, then we can take our masks off for running. But a lot of us like to run together, so we just keep that we keep that about 6 foot distance and
smart.
keep our masks on.
It's outside, so it's a little safer, right?
It's a little safer, yeah.
Yeah. So what's your warm up like?
Our usual warm up is around the school, but for days that we have track workouts, we usually do like a 2-mile warm up.
Cool. Do you do any other training outside of?
Over the summer, we did captain's practices, but other than that, most of the time we're just in actual practice.
Cool. Do you listen to music when you run? Are you allowed to do that?
We are allowed to do that during practices. Most of the girls don't, because we just tend to run together and like talk to each other. And
is it hard to talk when you run?
It depends on the workout. Sometimes we have an easy workout where we can go at a talking pace. Other times we're too focused on our breathing, our running, our times. So it really just depends on the workout.
Awesome. Do you plan to run when you're in college or after high school?
I was planning on joining a club in college. I wasn't planning on doing like a varsity sport.
That's cool. So what do you miss most from the team?
I miss like I said before, I miss the like pasta parties and the out of practice like communication that like we can have face to face.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. So what's like your personal best time for?
I believe my personal best time for a 5K would have been is about 26 minutes.
Oh wow, that's impressive. Are there any teams that like you consider a rival?
I consider all teams our rivals. We all try our very best. There are some teams that is like a closer rival than other teams, but I don't really know the names of the towns off the top of my head right now.
Yeah. How many teams do you guys compete against?
I don't really know, like six.
So it's like smaller than like the full Middlesex League.
I honestly have
The
no
Middlesex
clue.
League has like double digits amount of people.
Yeah,
Or
I don't.
towns, I should say.
I don't think we get to the double digit. I don't know. I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't know how many towns we go up against. When it's race day, I tend to zone out. And I zone out from like everyone around me, and I try and get in the zone myself.
Makes sense. So what are some of the responsibilities you have as a captain?
Well, over the summer, we had the responsibility of the captain's practices, obviously. And now as a captain, what would have been our responsibility would have been the pasta parties and all other like out of practice hangouts. But now we're like a level below the coach, where if the girls have a problem with something and they don't feel comfortable going to the coach directly and they feel comfortable going to one of the captains, they can always come to us.
Awesome. Do you feel any pressure as a captain?
This year I don't. Last year I was a junior captain along with Colleen and Allison.
Yeah.
So last year I really felt the pressure more than this year. This year I'm kind of just like, oh, this isn't much different than last year.
You know what to expect at this point. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Is there anything else that I haven't asked about that you want to talk about? Or?
I don't think so.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been great. Now, let's take a look at this month's edition of the Player Spotlight featuring Captain Alli Illidge.
Hi, my name is Illidge, and this is BNEWS Sports Hub Player Spotlight. Well, I've been on the girls cross country team for 4 years. My first year as a captain was actually last year as a junior captain because we didn't have any seniors. So far as a captain, along with Colleen and Allison Irwin, we've held captain's practices, we've planned pasta parties in the past. Unfortunately, this year it doesn't look like we'll be able to do that. Our season, it's looking slightly different. It's not a huge difference. Usually we would have had a few meets by now, but our first meet is now starting in October instead of September. And we're not having any invitationals.
Senior Alli Illidge has been a really vocal, very motivating, well, both of them, super motivating and encouraging captains for the whole team. I'm looking forward to continued motivation for the rest of the team. It's a returning team, it's small, and they all know each other pretty well. So I look forward to seeing them just continue to develop their leadership skills, also PR, and just be leaders on the race course and off.
Some of my achievements would be, I would really love to PR, to get a new personal record this year, and I want to make the most of my last year on the cross country team.
And next up, we'll be here with Captain Colleen McMakin.
I'm out here in front of Varsity Field right now. It's tough right now to see that field empty. We should be playing lacrosse on that field. We should be having track meets right now. There should be baseball and softball games.
Hey guys, hope you and your families are well and staying safe. Miss you guys, but I will see you all very soon. Take care.
We should be all over the place. There should be tennis down the street right now, but there isn't.
Hi, Red Devil athletes. Quick message from the coach here. Find some meaning in your life every day. Find some purpose in what you're doing. Be kind to the people you're living with.
Hello everyone, from Coach McKay and Coach McKay.
We hope you're all staying home, staying healthy, and staying safe.
And we look forward to seeing our Red Devil family in the near future.
Hi Burlington, hopefully everyone's doing well as you're stuck at home. Hopefully everybody's safe and healthy. We'll come out of this together, Burlington together, but come out of it stronger.
This will pass. We're all experiencing the same thing.
So know that we're thinking about you guys. Know that we care about you guys. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
Go Red Devils!
with Captain Colleen McMakin. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. So how long have you been a runner?
I've been a runner since freshman year.
Awesome.
So only about 4 years now.
Cool. So what made you want to join the cross country team?
My mom has always been a runner, and so I wanted to join the cross country team so I could beat her PRs.
So what's your PR?
It is currently for the Burlington course, 20:53.
Wow. Have you beaten hers yet?
Not yet. I'm less than a minute off though.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I couldn't even imagine. So do you do any other sports?
I also run outdoor track. My favorite event is the 2 mile, thanks
Awesome.
to all the cross country training. And I'm also the goalie for the girls ice hockey team.
That's right. That's awesome. So does cross country help you with all those, or well, obviously it helps you with track. Does it help you with hockey in any way?
I believe it does. It definitely gives me the endurance to be able to play for a while.
Oh yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. So how has COVID changed the season for you?
It's just more being aware when you're running. Mm-hmm. Just need to be aware of the others around you and take more precautions like wearing your mask when you're running.
Yeah.
That's really the biggest change we have to deal with this year.
So like what's your warm-up and training like?
For a warm-up, we usually do 1 mile to 2 miles. And it depends on the training days. We have some hard days where you have repeats on the track, you're doing tempo runs around town, or like today we ran the course a couple of times to prepare for our upcoming meets.
Awesome. Do you guys run like the meet track like typically, or?
Yeah, we'll run it about once a week aside from our meets.
Oh, cool. Mm-hmm. So do you listen to music when you run?
No, never.
Do you like talk to someone when you run usually?
Usually, yes, and that makes it pass by a lot quicker.
Oh, is it hard to like talk when you run?
It depends. Usually on those hard workout days, you can give a quick, how you doing? But on the more casual days, you can definitely have a conversation.
Wow. So what are you going to miss most from this team?
How we are able to support each other so much. Being such a small team, you definitely need to have the support system to make sure your teammates are meeting their own personal goals they want to, but also making sure you're working together and you're pushing each other to help the team score points.
Awesome. So what's been your favorite memory from cross country?
Oh my gosh. Probably some of the invitational meets. They're a lot of fun. One of my captains, Allison, Irwin, and the other ones, one of our favorite memories from the meets is every meet we take the same picture. And so it's really fun to look back on all those pictures from all the meets.
I like that. So are there any teams that you like really have like a rivalry with?
Not so much of a rivalry, but definitely I would say Wilmington, because every year we're super close, like a point or two from from beating them. Or
Does it go back and forth?
Yeah, I believe we beat them our freshman year, and we lost them the past 2 years. So we're hoping
you'll get them this year.
Yes,
this one's the year. This one's the time. So do you plan to run cross country in the future, or?
Yes, I would definitely love to participate in cross country in college. Yes.
Awesome. Do you like cross country more than hockey, or is it equal, or?
I would say it's probably equal. They're both so different.
Oh yeah, definitely. So what are some of the responsibilities you have as a captain?
Just making sure that everyone is where they want to be. Whether they want to be in it for the teammates, they want to be in it to reach their own personal goals. You want to make sure you can support your teammates in getting their own personal goals, but also running is a very emotional sport.
Yes.
So emotionally supporting your teammates, like while they're racing, cheering them on, and after their race, if they've had an amazing race or if they're upset about the results, being there for your teammates. For
awesome.
Sure.
Do you feel any pressure as a captain?
Not necessarily, no.
Awesome. Is there anything else that I haven't asked about that you want to talk about, or?
I think that's good.
That's awesome. Now let's look at our second player spotlight featuring Captain Colleen McMakin.
Hi, I'm Colleen McMakin, and this is BNEWS Sports Hub Player Spotlight. So this is my second year of being a captain, and I really love it because cross country is an interesting sport where it's a very individual thing where you have to be able to run by yourself in a race and self-encourage it, be able to, keep in that right mindset, but also you need to work together as a team. So as a captain, I really love being able to support every runner during if she's having a good race or a bad race, and be able to help new runners especially push through the mental difficulties that comes with running. So my sophomore and junior year, I was a Middlesex League All-Star. I have set the course record, which has now been broken by Casey Collins. But this year I'm really looking forward to being able to PR and also, most importantly, running against Stoneham again and hopefully not getting lost on their course. The masks are a touch of a setback, but I know all the girls are trying their best to push through that, and we're not going to let us stop us this season, for sure.
We're going to go over goals this week. It's the first week of practice. They have individual goals, we have team goals. I just hope that they can all accomplish those every day, little things, big things, and stay injury-free.
So I'm looking forward to this season, maybe not having scrimmages and not with no invitational meets, just being able to focus on our dual meets and being able to win as many as we possibly can this season.
And we'll be right back with Captain Alli Irwin.
You never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have.
I want to shout out to everyone in town, especially all the educators who are trying to stay connected to their students and families.
Business community is working harder than ever to continue to come up with innovative ways to serve our clients and our community.
We all can do our part to keep each other healthy.
I believe that we will also find a deeper appreciation for one another.
Burlington Parks and Recreation Department has taken steps necessary to secure our parks, playgrounds, courts, and fields.
Through online materials, we're doing our best to bring you entertainment.
Hang in there. Social distancing is working. Thank you for doing your part.
We can slow down the spread of this illness.
We'll get through this stronger, tougher, and closer than ever.
Everyone needs to stay healthy and stay connected.
Reach out.
We're all in this together.
We'll get through this together.
Unite and support one another.
Together.
Together.
We're all in this together.
You got this, Burlington. Your care and compassion for each other will get us through to brighter days.
And we're back with Captain Alli Irwin. Hi, how's it going?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. So how long have you been a runner?
Since my freshman year, so I guess like 3-4-ish years.
Awesome. Do you run track as well?
I do, but in the winter and the spring, I typically throw. Like originally I was in distance, but it was not for me. So I switched to throwing and I actually really like that. Yeah.
So what's your favorite part of cross country?
Definitely like the team. Like I'm not in any capacity, I am not a good runner, but just being there for my teammates and like the jokes that we crack and the experiences that we have together. The stories that we have are insane. Like no other sport can have them. Just the stuff we go through is next level. So
awesome.
Just the experiences, yeah.
So what made you want to join cross country?
I don't know. I think I was in 8th grade. It was just like we were in the gym and it was the only sport I hadn't heard of. And I was like, oh, all right, I guess.
Why not?
Like I stink at all the other things, so I can try this.
I feel that one.
Yeah, I guess I did that, yeah.
So what is warm-up like for you?
Our warm-up is typically, we do a lap around the school, and that's about 0.6 miles. On longer days, like previously in the week, we do like a 2-mile warm-up, and then we come back, we do agilities, high knees, butt kicks, all of those, and then we stretch a little bit in between our warm-up and the agilities, and same thing after the agilities. And then after that, we go off and do our
run. So do you listen to music when you run?
No, we're not really. Like, I don't know if we're not allowed to. But no, we don't typically listen to music.
Do you prefer to like talk to someone when you run?
I prefer to listen to music, but it's not really an option when we're in a team setting. Just because when you're running, you know, when you hit mile like 5, it's really hard to still want to talk about something when you're just like,
oh yeah,
you know, so.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what's been your personal best time?
Oh God, I don't even know. I don't got somewhere in the 26s.
It's still pretty good.
No, but
hey, mine's definitely in the 35s, so you're good. So how has COVID changed the season for you?
Definitely not in a good way. It's been really sad just because I had to be out the first week because I was quarantining because I was exposed to someone. I didn't have it myself, but so that stunk that I was missing the first week, and we were already starting like a month late.
Yeah.
So it just, everything feels delayed, and when we run, we have to wear our masks, so we're like huffing and puffing, like, and the mask is getting like sucked into our mouth.
Definitely.
Not the most pleasant, and then like the staying 6 feet apart, and just we can only have a certain amount of practices. And losing the invitationals, as much like trauma as they cause, like there's a lot of memories that come out of them. So that's
awesome.
Really sad.
So is there any teams that you see as like rivalries?
We don't, like, as a team, our attitude isn't, it's competitive, but it's more about like being our better selves. So there's no team that we really see as a rival. For the most part, we are the smallest team in the league, so we're usually outnumbered. So we just focus on going our best, but the most comparable team is Wilmington.
Oh yeah.
But it's not a rivalry. We're nice with each other, and we just build each other up.
That's great. So do you plan to run in the future?
Yeah, in college I definitely want to stay club running. Just to, I don't know.
Good way to stay in shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Something to get
I gotta get into that.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's not the worst thing in the world. Like, I mean, that's okay.
So what are some of the responsibilities that you have as a captain?
They all kind of went out the window this year, because usually they would be organizing, you know, getting girls to meets and organizing captain's practices. And last year it was, you know, our final hurrah. We organized the banquet and we did all this, and now we can't do, and our pasta parties, and we can't do any of that. So this year we, you know, me and Alli Illidge got together and talked out some captain's practices, and then we talked to Colleen and we laid out a full plan for like the next 8 weeks or something like that.
Awesome.
And then other than that, emotional support.
Do you feel any pressure as a captain or anything like that?
No. I think honestly, as a captain, it's not about being the best, or like you lead by example, and it's not about being the fastest runner. It's about being like relatable and just supporting people.
Just a good part of the team.
Yeah,
What do you miss most about the team?
Wait, what will I miss most?
Yeah, what do you miss most?
Definitely the people. Like, we might not be the best team running wise, but we have some of the best people on this team, like genuine, authentic people, and we're all so supportive and so kind, and we crack so many jokes and we go through a lot with the running, and just the sense of community that we have is just,
that's awesome.
It's irreplaceable. Yeah.
Great. Is there anything else I haven't asked about that you want to talk about, or is that about it?
No, that's it.
Awesome. And that's all for this month's episode. I'd like to thank my guests, head coach Christina DiCroce, captains Alli Illidge, Colleen McMakin, and Alli Irwin. We'd also like to thank you for watching. I'm your host, Liz Gillespie, and we will see you next time on BNEWS Sports Hub.